Man, do we have some crazy topics today. Just a few that we cover. The strange things that you see in the subways of New York City, drugs. How about your parents conspiring to murder you as a child? Well, that's what she thought. Cats being trained to use the toilet? Or how about a date coming to you dressed as a samurai? Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Susan Finch, actress, voice coach, and teacher at Atlantic Theater Company. All around beautiful human being. Let's get to it.
A little earlier today.
Barry White. Are you a Barry White fan?
I am. So is Michelle.
What?
Michelle missed
Very
you.
sexy.
He's on the sofa in your blanket. What's that little blanket of yours?
You got to speak a little louder.
The blanket that he's wearing.
That blanket I got when I was like 7 years old is a Christmas present.
A blankie.
A
It's your
blankie.
blankie.
Tiger blanket. In our household, it's called the tiger blanket.
Everyone knows about it.
Yeah, it's the tiger blanket.
Do you ever wash it?
Oh, well, once a couple of years.
It's
It's
got
been a
a s-
while at this point.
Things like that have a smell that's real
Yeah,
important.
yeah. The cat
like,
loves it.
like a good smell. Right? I mean, the smells.
Absolutely.
Most of it. Yeah, in the field.
Well, thanks for coming down.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know we were recording?
Oh, yeah. I was hoping.
Oh, okay. All right. So I had a friend of mine on over the weekend,
Yeah.
and I'm going to text him right now because he went to a school in New York City
Yeah.
for acting,
Oh, yeah.
and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, find out. What's his name?
Simon Mandel. He's a comedian and magician,
Oh, wow.
and his show is crazy good.
Let's go.
Oh,
Where does
and
he do
well,
it?
I told him next time he has a show, it's usually it's private and stuff like that. And I told him next time he does a club show, he needs to let me know.
That's even more mysterious. A private magician show?
Well, it's like corporations and you know what I mean, like Google hired him, took him
Right.
out to California, and it's called strolling magic. You know about strolling magic,
I
right?
don't. What's
Where there's
wrong?
like groups of people. Like in a corporate event, you know how they like at a wedding too and stuff like that. How everybody breaks off into in all their little groups,
Right?
right? So he just walks around and completely interrupts you and says, "Hey, I got a trick. You want to see a trick?" And everybody's like, yeah, oh yeah, of course." And of
Do you
course,
remember Colleen's 50th birthday party?
the
that
lady
chick?
that was doing the strolling magic?
Yeah, that was really exciting.
The what I like about Simon's show is he's a lot more energetic than her. She had like this like mystique style to her, and like
She was good. She read
sexy
Ariel and
and-
Shia
yeah,
Kane's
yeah.
minds.
Let me text him real quick.
She-
So-
he was magical.
Where he started, I can't remember the year, but Rutgers University had any program, or I don't know if they still do or not, but he brought up like Juilliard and NYU and all that. And he says it rivals that to where thousands of people apply for it a year and like 25 people a year get in.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, Susan. Huh,
Right.
hey, I know somebody.
That's
so
right.
while I'm doing this, since we talked about Juilliard, and
Yeah.
explain who you are.
Yeah, well, my name is Susan Finch, and I did go to the Juilliard School, and that was.
Well, you're still there.
And I am still there. That's right. I coach productions there as a vocal coach. And that's one of the things that makes that school special is they have a vocal coach on every project and an Alexander Technique coach on every production. Do you know the Alexander Technique?
So you could probably tell by the look on my face that I have no
Alexander's-
idea what that is.
It's an amazing technique. This guy, Alexander, he was a Shakespearean actor in Australia in the 1920s. He lost his voice and he had to give up acting. And he spent the rest of the next year of his life looking in a three-way mirror, watching himself do Shakespeare and seeing what his body did. And he noticed there were tensions in his throat, in his neck, in his spine. And he developed a technique, body awareness and body energy flow technique that is now used in the major acting schools. Even at Juilliard, the musicians do it. It helps for ease in performance.
So it's a combination of that and your vocal. So you concentrate on that.
I don't do that. I'm not a certified Alexander teacher, but I am. I love that stuff.
Stay a little close. Yeah, stay
Close
closer.
like that.
Yeah, so
I
can
love the
hear.
Alexander technique. If you get the Alexander technique, you could do anything. I think you should take a class. It's
So
mind
Alexander
altering.
technique would help me in the gym.
It would help you in the gym tremendously. The dancers take it.
Ah,
Yes.
do I look? I
Ye-
can dance. You know I can dance. Did you hear the story about how
No,
I can?
tell me. How do you dance?
You never heard the
No,
story?
tell me.
I can dance. I can cut a rug.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's how I got Val to go out with me.
Tell me.
So Val's my wife. If you're first listening to the podcast, you don't know, but Val's my wife. And the first day I met her, we talked about a lot of things, but she said that she was a dancer, and I said, "Whoa, I can dance." And she gives me this up and down like, "Okay," and I said, "I can dance the soles right off your shoes." And she's like, "You're going to have to prove it." I was like, "I was hoping you'd say that." And that was on a Thursday night, or Thursday. 2 nights later, Saturday, I took her out dancing. Been together ever since.
That's so nice. What kind of dancing? Did you take?
Like two-step and swing and jitterbug and it. Oh man,
Michelle,
make it a mess.
I
God, man.
tried to get the seltzer out. The sparkling one.
Actually, Michelle, there's a rag right there where you're sitting.
I wish I knew how to do those kinds of dancing. I do blues dancing. I've
Oh.
taken Val blues dancing.
She wants to take me blues dancing.
You've got to go. Hey, thank you. My lovely assistant, Michelle. is
Oh, I
cleaning
need
up
an
my
assistant.
mess. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Well done, well done.
She wants to take me blues dancing.
Yeah,
I
you'll
just
have to
haven't
go.
got to it yet.
We'll plan it.
Does Michelle blues dance?
He does in my kitchen.
Oh,
with
that's
me.
the best
But
kind.
We haven't gone.
Does he have clothes on when he does that?
Sometimes a
Okay.
little bit,
All right,
just
all
at
right.
varying degrees of clothing.
Depending on how hot it is.
There we go.
Wink, wink. So thanks again for coming down.
My pleasure. That's
And you
really
live
fun.
in New York City, right?
Yeah, I live in Washington Heights, way uptown.
Uptown, huh?
Yeah.
Uptown girl like Billy Joel.
Uptown. Well, it's really called DR. It's the Dominican Republic of Manhattan. A lot of my neighbors don't speak English, and I unfortunately haven't not learned Spanish yet.
But can you communicate? Because
We
they
do.
say
They're my best neighbors ever. I mean, I've known some of these people since. Some of them were little kids, and now they're parents. I've been in that apartment for a long time, and they're amazing people. But it's a very Dominican neighborhood, and it's a great neighborhood. We're very near the Hudson River. And
do you have a view from your apartment?
I don't.
What?
I know.
Does that cost too much?
I just didn't get that apartment. It just wasn't my.
So to get your apartment, were you on like a list?
All right, to get
There's
my
one that-
apartment, I had to date this creep, and this was back in the '80s. And he came to Juilliard and said, "Hey, I got apartments for the artists, and I'd like to take you out to dinner." And I said, "Okay." And so he took me out to dinner and said, "You know what I'd like to do is I have this fantasy of being in a kabuki outfit and filming you killing me." And I said,
This is
"Well,
what he
you know," I
came
said,
to you?
I think I will not do that." And then he,
So wait, real quick. What's a kabuki outfit?
well, a samurai, a warrior
okay,
type
yep,
of
yep, just to be clear and make sure.
Japanese,
Very
with
sexy.
a sword. Apparently, he had this robe, but I backed out of that. But I did get the apartment.
Oh, so you didn't have to.
I didn't have to do that. I said,
didn't
well,
have to
yeah,
kill
well,
him?
Yeah, I didn't have to pretend to kill him. But things were weird in the '80s. What can I say? It's a long time
Were you
ago.
guys doing drugs at that point?
Yeah, I was.
Weed?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of pot. Yeah.
Anything heavier than that?
Cocaine.
Oh, yeah. I got a story about coke.
Tell me your coke story.
Oh, I did a lot of coke back in the day.
Yeah, tell me.
So my buddies and I went out and drinking, doing coke, and we were in a poker game. And the last thing I remember, it was like 7:30 at night, and I was doing well at cards, ordering drinks at the bar. And next thing I know, at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I woke up strapped to a gurney in the ER with 17 stitches in my head.
Oh, what happened?
I went to the bathroom, used a urinal,
Yeah.
passed out,
Oh,
and
God.
just like a tree backwards. Cracked my head open in the bathroom.
Now, did that stop your drug use, Walt?
No, no,
Interesting.
no.
Didn't stop
no,
then, huh? You
no,
kept
no.
going.
Yeah, I kept going. Yep, kept going.
It's amazing what lengths we go to. When I was doing coke, we'd go after hours after being a waitress on First and First. Then we'd go to the bartender's house where he was dealing. And
Okay.
one of the customers was an ER doctor, which was just broke my heart.
Oh,
Well,
well,
and-
I have a, well, we'll say, well, he's a really good friend of mine, but he was a dealer for a long time. Mm-hmm. And his main clients were dentists and doctors and
Yeah,
lawyers.
it's just it just is. I have this false idea that addiction skips these wonderful professions, but it doesn't discriminate.
No. Now, do you think there's a healthy balance between some of them that's just so stressed out, they like, because you hear about like actors and bands and stuff that they just get so strung out stress-wise because they're always on the road and always working and that they do it for an escape, or is it a healthy balance between that and they just want to do drugs?
I don't know. I don't know about other people. I just know about
Yeah, that's a good point.
myself. I just know that
So made you-
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've done my share.
I've done enough,
And
yeah.
I'll tell you, my life today is more exciting. There is no drug or drink that I can take that is more exciting than being here right now with you.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you that. Like, I always thought that state of mind, like when I picked Val up for our first date, I was drugged out of my mind. I was still doing coke at that time.
You were one lucky guy that she saw
Still-
through that.
Yeah, I know. And then she never asked me to stop. But after that first date, I was like, if I'm going to have somebody like this in my life, she's not going to put up with that.
No.
And then I just quit. Drinking was the other part.
Yeah.
That was a different story.
Right.
And I went on drinking and been sober almost 2 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And we have the same sober date, don't we?
Do December 1st.
First.
It's
Whoop,
a
whoop.
very good date.
Yeah, yep. How long have you been sober?
It'll be well.
You don't
it's-
mind talking about
no,
it, right?
I love talking about sobriety. It's 30 years
Whoa,
without a
congratulations.
drink. Yeah, I've
Was-
been doing a lot of coke the whole time, but just no drinking. No. Drinking and drugs, totally.
Oh, yeah. Well,
totally all.
You
all
still
of it.
smoke any weed?
Never.
Nothing.
No,
You're
no,
totally
no.
clean,
I'm
don't you?
totally clean. I don't even have cough syrup with. I don't even do NyQuil because in a pinch NyQuil would work.
See, I still
There's
use
alcohol in it.
Well, see, I still use NyQuil. I have a system with NyQuil. I get sick, like crazy down sick once a year, like February, March. And for 3 days, I will not take it longer than 3 nights. But one bottle of NyQuil lasts me 3 nights because I drink a third of it each night, and it just knocks me out.
Right,
And
it does.
it just forces me to go to sleep, which is then your body takes care of the rest, right? But
I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to trigger. I don't want to get. I just don't want to play.
Yeah.
So I even have vanilla that has no alcohol in it.
Yeah.
So,
What stopped you from drinking?
fear of jumping off the GWB, and I had been going to Al-Anon. My parents said, "Go to Al-Anon."
What's Al-Anon?
Al-Anon is for the for people who are who have alcoholism or in love with somebody who's an alcoholic, or have a family member, and so my parents were going to Al-Anon.
Oh, okay.
And they said, you should go. And I went, all right, I'll go. Al-Anon. This is a good program. I like it here. And the women in the program went, honey, you're in the wrong program. Check out the other program and then come back to us if you want.
Ah.
So one day I was feeling desperate, and I had stayed up doing drugs the whole night. And I walked down to Riverside Drive, and I thought, I am either going to jump off that bridge or get some kind of help. And I said a prayer. I don't believe in like the traditional God, but I knew there's something in the
higher
universe,
power of something.
some sort. And I said,
Yeah.
help me. And soon afterwards, I was down on 42nd Street, right where the shuttle meets the number 1. Is that your friend who called back?
I'm going to take your picture.
Oh,
Smile.
all right. And somebody was playing drums on a bucket, and then there were people proselytizing about the Lord, and it was just overwhelming. And this was back when they were.
And you were pretty fucked up at this point?
I was hungover, actually,
Oh,
and
okay.
just more depressed and hopeless.
Sure.
And there were payphones at that time, and I had a quarter, and I called.
Wow.
Yeah,
Going back a ways.
You're right, and I over 30 years, and I called AA, and the person on the other end said, I get these calls a lot. This is not AA, but you're just one number off. But I have the number written down here 'cause so many of you people call here.
Well, was it like a plumber or something?
It was
Like
just some
kind-
guy, some angel.
Oh wow!
Some
I
angel,
imagine.
yeah.
Wow. And then your call went to what? Like
Went to I guess
Where
the general
line?
service office where they directed me to a meeting, and I went and I never left.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, very blessed. Blessed that the women in that program reached out to me and taught me how to not drink a day at a time. And now I don't think about drinking. I really don't. In fact, it bores me. It feels like a waste of time. I'd rather haul cinder blocks than be at a party drinking.
Yeah. Now that I'm not drinking, I'm usually a little late getting to a party, and I leave early, because once everybody starts getting tore up, I'm like, yeah, no, it doesn't interest me anymore.
Yeah.
But I had a good friend of mine who was sober as well, and he was there when I needed him, and he still, he helped me out through the whole process, and I'm good. There's been a couple times at a party I'm like, but I look at Val and she's like, you cool? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And she's so supportive. She's like, all right, let's leave. I'm like, okay, well, we're leaving.
It just
and
gets so boring. There's no intimacy. I'll be speaking with a friend, and then they start getting drunk, and the intimacy is gone. So I don't want to talk to
Yeah. I mean, I was in that for a long time, so I
Yeah.
can't say anything. That's where they're at, and that's where I'm at. But
one time I was on the number 1 train, and you know how you can see people with literature reading AA-approved literature, like the Big Book or the 12 and 12,
sure.
and nothing else looks like those books. They look, you can tell what they look like.
Right.
And so I was sitting next to some guy who's reading the AA Big Book, which is like the AA.
And it's not like a big book, like a
No, it's like a paperback book,
Right,
but anybody can recognize it if you know what it is.
Yeah, of
And
course.
he was reading it, and I turned to him and I went, "That's a good book." And he said, "Is it?" And he said, "You've read it?" And I went, "Many times."
Was he new that? I mean,
Well, I didn't know his story.
Yeah.
He went, really? Interesting. And I went, yes. And I was acting very like holier than thou. I am so knowledgeable. Then I got up and closed the book, and it turned out to be a book about computer science.
on the inside?
It was some computer book. It was not the big book. I had just not seen correctly.
Oh, well, you saw what you wanted to see, right? That's funny. He's like, really? He's looking
You've
at
read
you
this
like,
computer
yeah,
book?
he's looking at you like, you read
Computer
this
science
computer?
many times.
So my buddy got back to me
Yeah.
in the school, and I was wondering if you knew what this is. Where'd it go? William Esper? School?
Yes, William Esper is a very good school.
Yeah, he went there for a couple years and graduated, and so
quality training, I would say.
Yeah, next time he has a show, because he does most of his shows in the city,
Well, go get a
I'll
gang.
hit him up. Yeah, he's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. He's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So there's a story that I've heard pieces of, but I've never heard the whole story.
Oh,
And it's so you growing up, you're gonna have to go into detail, and I'm gonna interrupt you as we go along.
sure thing.
And you keep stroking that thing that's making me.
Sorry. Michelle's in town. What can I tell you?
Well, Michelle, you're a lucky man. The way she's treating this bottle over here, holy Christ!
Sorry about that. All right, so I'll
Do,
put this
can
over
you-
here.
do you need a minute or?
I'm fine.
You're good.
I'm back. I'm back.
You'll have to give me details. Or
Yeah, I
give
know
us
what story
details.
we
But
talked about
it's,
it.
Your parents. You thought your parents were going to try to kill you.
Well, my family was trying to kill me when I was a child. We didn't,
You're gonna have.
but my parents still live in this beautiful Victorian twin in Germantown, Philadelphia, with a huge garden. It's just gorgeous. You can get lost in the house. And my bedroom was on the third floor. It even had the little maid's bell. It's still there. I'll be going
Whoa.
back this Saturday. There's a little maid's bell with a wire that goes all the way down to the first floor where you would ring. So my room was the maid's
Major.
room.
What
Yeah.
into what the wire went into what room? Like the kitchen or a certain room?
It went all the way down to the vestibule in the front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when the house would settle, you could hear creaking. It was a very old house. And my sister had the bedroom on the third floor. My parents were downstairs on the second floor. My brother was in the third floor back. And I would try to go to sleep, but I couldn't sleep when I was a kid. You know, I was like
And how old were you?
7. I couldn't sleep. And I was also terrified about being alive. Just really terrified about being alive. That's why alcohol worked when I finally found it. You know,
yes,
just
okay,
this
that
life
makes sense.
stuff can be so terrifying to a child. No one tells you that it's not all playing Barbies and dolls, that death exists, you know, that would blew my mind that we're not here forever. I didn't know that part. So I'd try to sleep, and then I would hear creaking. And my parents and Amy, my sister, and my brother Richard would all creep slowly all the way downstairs, unlatch the basement door, and go down to the basement, and they'd sit around this card table with one single swinging light bulb, like in a film noir, like Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah,
Where were you on
And
October 24th?
they all have like fedoras and cigarettes in their time.
Right, my father had a cigar. And they sat around the table, and they said, and this was nightly,
Every night.
every
So
night.
did it look like one of those detective rooms where it had like your picture at the top and then all your friends and stuff? You know,
My
like if
picture
you're
wasn't there. I was in their heads. I was the target.
Oh, okay. So they didn't need a picture?
They didn't need a picture. But this is the nightly ritual. Okay, how are we going to kill her?
So how many years did they? How many years did
They're
they do this?
still trying. They are still.
They're
And you will
no
talk
offense to your family, but they're not very good. They're not well organized. It's been 30
They
something
are
years
not,
they've been trying
they
to
are
kill
not.
you.
And I'll tell you, I'll go down this Saturday, and I will talk to them about it, and they will deny it. They will continue to deny it.
So that way you know it's true.
That's
no,
right. They're
we
good
never would.
liars. So that my father would say, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. My mother would go, Bob, you've got to find a way to make this happen because we can't keep living with her. And my sister would say, well, I'm only 3. I have no idea. I'm not capable. My brother went, I know how to do it.
I got this.
She loves me. She looks up to me. I'm her older brother.
How much older?
6 years. He was my idol.
Okay.
He is to this day such a cool brother. You know, that's a big 6 years difference. He gave me my first pair of bell bottoms. He said, look, it's time you stopped playing dolls. You must put on these jeans.
And then did you have like the platform shoes with the goldfish in the heel and all that?
I had a pair of purple suede platforms. But Richard gave me for Christmas white go-go boots.
Oh, amazing.
He's a cool brother, and he would
Right.
take me on his escapades. You know, he would take me out with him.
But this whole time, that's him luring you in.
It's a ruse, yeah, just his way. And he said, I can do it. I know I can do it. So then, you know, in the morning I'd get ready for school. I'd walk down the stairs. My mother'd be making breakfast, pretending like nothing happened the night before. and she'd say, good morning. And I'd just look at her like,
You sneaky little.
like, yeah. Oh, good morning.
So, did you come across any of their plans? Like,
No,
that they
it's all
tried to
very-
execute?
Very secretive. But I knew that behind doors that I had to watch my back in that house.
That's a long childhood for you to be
I
on
was
your toes like that.
terrified.
Never a peaceful moment.
No. But you know this death thing. My brother also he went to the Haverford prep school, Haverford School. My father was chairman of the art department there, so my brother got to go for free.
Okay.
He got an excellent education, excellent. And so he was maybe when I was 8, he was 14 or so, and he was reading Faulkner. I remember he was reading this Faulkner As I Lay Dying, which is my favorite book.
It's all about death.
I got to stick with the death theme here, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Each chapter is a different person speaking, and my favorite character was Dewey Dell, who's the young girl. She gets pregnant, and this is, you know, white trash in the South, but it's Faulkner, it's poetry, it's beautiful. He gave me a gift. He was reading it, and he said, "You should read this. Here, read this." And I read it because he thought I could, you know.
And how old
and
were you at this time?
I guess 8
Okay.
or 9, and I read it and I fell in love with it. I named my first cat Dewey Dell. She was a great cat. Because my mind knew I could read it. My brother said I would enjoy it, and I did. You know, to this day now, I can't pick up Faulkner. I can't read any. I just can't. It goes. I can't. I don't have the stamina to read anything but that particular book because Faulkner's tough.
Never read a line in my life.
He's tough, except for As I Lay Dying is written almost like a dream. But it just shows you what your mind tells you is possible, and if you're told this is easy for you, you have access
Do it.
to this is good. It's no problem. If you tell yourself, "Oh, that's William Faulkner, that's intellectual," I won't be able to grasp that.
Then you're not gonna be able to do it.
I can't.
Well, you know, my dad, growing up, my dad had a saying that, you know, those big, fat, yellow and black bumblebees?
Yeah.
Well, according to scientists and stuff, they can't fly because their wings are so little and their bodies are so big. So,
Yeah.
but they fly, right?
Yeah. How
They
is
don't-
that possible?
Because nobody told them they couldn't. So that was my dad's little inspirational thing growing up.
I
But going along the same line that
like
you're just talking
that.
about. If you said you can or can't, right? Then if you say you can or you can't, you're right.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So with death, though, so you, how long did this theme last, or is it still
I think
going
it's
on?
still in progress. No. It's. I'm not as.
You realize that we
upset.
don't last forever, and eventually you're gonna be gone.
Yeah, I heard recently in California you can compost your body.
Oh God, my wife is all about that.
Yeah, I think it's a magnificent.
Well, she calls
idea.
it this is not what it's called, but she calls it the mushroom death suit,
Oh, so what is that?
where your body is put into this bag basically that's it's biodegradable, but it's filled with all these spores of this one certain mushroom.
Oh,
Because because everything that we consume our whole life, it makes our body toxic.
right. Got a lot
Right.
of junk in there.
Yeah. So I guess this type of mushroom.
It pulls out the toxins. Mushrooms are amazing.
Well, it eats all that up. That's like what
Yeah.
it makes you, and then
Biodegradable,
Yeah,
and
then you
they
just go into the ground, and that's it. I mean, you just. And she's like, "I'm going to do that when I die." I'm like, "Okay,
yeah.
write that down." Yep.
Make-
How do you want to go?
I quietly in my sleep when I don't know, nothing's happening. You know, my
Okay.
grandmother, when she died, I see her hand on this table here. She was holding on to the bed, like had
Oh,
a
like white
death
knuckle.
grip.
See, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want that
I
either.
want to go like sliding and smiling and being like my hair's on fire and having a good time, and that's it. Then what are you
Yeah.
gonna do with your body?
I do want to compost it.
Compost it?
yeah.
Just toss you in the ground; it'll compost.
Well, there we go. Just make sure I don't have my shoes on.
So no cremation or
Well, no, I think that this,
explain that. Like this compost, you have like a certain thing you want to do, like a company does it, or
yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't researched it, but it's close to what Val was talking about with the I didn't hear about the mushrooms, but this I think is a wooden box and a certain area. They must put, I don't know, something in there with you, but and I heard it was only like $2,000 to do it.
oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
No.
Considering-
And then there's these things where it's like you get put in a bag type thing too, and then there's a seedling for a tree, and then it does the same thing, and then the tree
that's
uses you
cool.
as compost.
Yeah,
you know?
neat.
Yeah.
Michelle and I saw this great movie. What was it called? Farm. The Biggest Little Farm. Was that it? Yep. The Biggest Little Farm. You and Val would love this.
Was it on Netflix?
No,
Amazon?
it's out in the movie theaters.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
this
right.
couple that had a dog. They adopted this dog, and the dog had to go because it was barking. The neighbors, and they were going to be
Oh.
evicted, and
Oh,
so
okay.
they bought a farm, which was their dream anyway.
Hmm.
And they didn't give the dog up.
Took it with them.
Took
Obviously.
it with them, and they got funding for the farm. They got backers, and it's a beautifully filmed piece about nature and how nature works in concert with animals and humans if you let it.
Right.
And
right,
how
right.
now our farming has gotten out of control.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I did my latest watching experience is a 180 from that
What?
Chernobyl.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but
It's very well done. It's dark, well, obviously because of the content, but I won't tell you much about it. It's worth it.
Okay.
It's worth it. The ending, you'll have to get back to me what you think of the ending, but
Okay.
well done. Covers a lot of stuff, but it's
You
dark.
watched? Is it a movie or a series?
It's a mini series. I think there's like 3 or 4,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like an hour. Like the first one's an hour and a half, then the rest are like an hour. But it's again, I'm a big fan of good production TV shows. You know, you see some of these, you're like, oh God, just stop now.
There's so much out there. We have choices.
Yeah. I guess
Now that
that's-
Game of Thrones is over.
I got to cancel my HBO subscription now. Since Game of Thrones is over, I don't need it.
Right.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yes, but Michelle's not done, so we can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right. And you're not. And is he on social media? So there's
He's
no
not.
spoiler there.
No.
Oh,
Right,
isn't on
right.
social media?
I am, but I'm ignoring it at
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
Twitter,
Good
I
luck.
guess. Have you seen Fleabag?
I got 2 of them. No. What's that about?
It's
I could probably guess, but
well, it's this woman's life, and it's amazing. I think you and Val would love it.
okay.
All right, just check it out. But I think
that a
that's
movie
on,
too, or is that
it's a ser-
Netflix,
it's on Amazon Prime.
Prime or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
recommend it.
This week, what are you guys up and about doing?
Oh, we went to Long Beach yesterday.
Ooh, oh, that's right. You did send me a little video.
Yeah, wasn't that pretty?
Yeah. So just for context, your boyfriend is in town from.
From Switzerland. That
Switzerland.
sounded kind of like Dutch.
I did. That was a little tough. How long is he here for?
Till he's here for a week.
Whoa. You getting anything
Yeah.
done? Productive? Well, see, it's a loaded question.
You're adorable. We're having a great time.
What you guys been doing? Touristy stuff or?
Sure.
Because I know tourists do that too,
They
but
do. Well, Long Beach was our Long Beach, and then the movie. And I want to take him to Coney Island. I want to.
Oh, you gotta go
He's
Coney
into
Island.
the cyclone, man. I didn't know that. I just learned that about him. Have
How
you been
about
to
you?
the cyclone?
Love it. The other one, the fire something, is even better.
Yeah.
Where it goes straight up.
Oh no, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I took Andy Sneeflock on that.
Oh really?
Yeah, I talked him into it. I'm like, just go, dude. I got you. Come
Oh
on, man.
my
Let's go.
God.
And when we were done, he's like, I'm so glad you talked me into it. That was amazing.
Jeez.
Coney Island's just an experience by itself.
Right. I'm thinking
know?
to go there around 7, so you see it light, you
Like the
see the
sunset and
daylight,
yeah.
and then you see trashy, cool, neon, groovy Coney
absolutely.
Island at night, because it's a whole different thing, right?
Yeah, well, that's like, as you know, back in your drinking days, you know, the bar looks really cool when you're in there at night with the neon. Go there during the day and you're like, what the?
Depressing.
Depressing, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the only thing I didn't like about, I'm not a big swimmer, but the beach and stuff is just so busy.
Yeah, I won't go there. There are no waves in Coney Island, and you see a dirty diaper floating next to you. I mean,
That's a bad thing?
That is not a good thing. That's what I like. Long Beach is clean.
Oh, yeah.
and then my brother, sister, and I have a little house, or a part of a house that we rented in Ocean Grove. Have you been to Ocean Grove?
I love Ocean Grove.
Right, I know Val loves
she's
it.
a beach goer. She
Yeah.
loves the ocean. Yeah.
I've been down there with her.
Yep,
So it's
When,
adorable.
when Val and I first started dating, we picked you up from the train station. You went
That's
down
right.
to-
You took me there. That's
Yep,
right. And then
yep.
you dropped me off there. That was fun. That was you.
That
That's
was us. And I remember you lost your contact out. We were having lunch,
really.
and you dropped your contact. Val's like, I got this. And like, searched.
She found it. She
on the
found
conc-
it.
on
No,
the-
we were not having lunch. We were having breakfast because it was Sunday, and the Lord says you may not get on the beach before 12 o'clock. Remember, we had to we had to eat.
what do they call that?
The Methodists in Ocean Grove,
say-
they call that don't
say-
go on the beach.
Until noon on Sunday.
That's what they call that.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, oh, just give it up. She's like, no, no, no. And she's
She
down there like
found
scoured on the
it.
concrete.
That's
That was
right.
amazing.
I
That was-
forgot
remember
about
story.
that. It's an adorable little town, right?
Yeah, yeah. Is that the one with all the like houses in a row that are like tents?
Tents.
Is that Ocean Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the little Victorian houses
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that big auditorium made of wood.
Is that some kind of church?
I think it is a church, yes.
Because it's not like a community center, I don't think, right?
No.
I think it's a business or church or something, something like that. You can't.
It seems like it's still thriving. But it's a nice town. The Blue Laws, you can't drink there. It makes for clean living, and
And then something about cars. Well, is that still in effect? Like no cars on Sunday or something like
I
that?
don't remember that one.
I think because we went down another time. We stayed in an Airbnb,
Did you?
and the guy that ran it was talking about the blue laws, and he was saying how crazy they used to be, and some of them are actually, obviously lifted. But I can't remember if there's no cars or not.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't have a car. I don't have
Oh,
a car. I don't
that's
have
right,
that
you
car
don't.
mentality.
Yeah,
I've got the
yeah.
subway. I can tell you anything about the
You
subway.
like traveling that way?
Yeah, I do.
You like the subway?
I do. You see it all.
Yeah, I can imagine. You ever have any trouble on the subway?
Had a lot of trouble on the subway.
What's
Had my butt grabbed on the subway back, when you're going from car to car.
Yeah, yeah.
This was before there was any awareness of you shouldn't
that.
assault a woman.
Right. Shouldn't assault anybody.
Right. One time, this guy was reading a newspaper, and across the aisle, this kid projectile vomited
Over the paper?
all the way to his shoe. And all he did was he was reading the paper. He just adjusted like just one little inch. He went, just adjusted, and all this vomit just stayed there. I'm over what time is it? You know those guys? What time is it?
No.
What time is it?
No.
Well, there used to be wonderful acrobatics going on. I just feel the kids that get on and do strange, wonderful acrobatic
like
dancing on the poles. It's just gotten kind of generic over the years. It used to be an art form. But I saw a guy recently who was a contortionist. This was last week. He was amazing.
So he come in like on the bars and on the handles and stuff? He
No, it
gets
was
all-
just in his own body,
Whoa.
popping joints and getting
Did you give him
into
any money?
I gave him $1, yeah. And I do like the doo-wop guys that
The
sing
doo-wop
a
guys are-
cappella.
yeah, yeah.
I'll always
How
give
many
them
batteries have he bought?
battery. I've let that go, and the candy, I let that go. But
So what's the strangest thing you've ever seen on the subway?
strangest thing was once it was on the platform, and it was like 3:00 in the morning, and I was waiting for the number one. And this man, this was back when the benches had armrests. They were wooden. Do you remember they were wooden?
No, I don't
All right.
know. Yeah. But one on each side, right? Because I know
Yeah.
some of them now have armrests throughout the middle so you can't
You
lay
can't
on them.
sleep.
Right,
They don't,
right.
right. So this guy was near the armrest, and he said, "You better watch out. You better watch out, because people are strange down here. You got to watch out. You never know what you may see. You may see somebody doing something. It may not be good. Like, you see, you see this mouse here?" And he had dissected a mouse down the center of the body and taken out 4 little babies and lined them up. And he said, you might see something like these dissected little mouse babies.
And this was just last week?
No,
Oh,
this
It's a while
was
ago.
a while ago when there were wooden benches.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow. What'd you do? You just ignore
I
it?
just went to the other side of the end of the platform. Yeah.
That is...
That was
Ah.
that one sticks out as one of the. One time I just love animals, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I at 168th Street, my subway stop. You take a elevator down to the sub down. It's 40 flights because one time I had to walk it.
Ooh.
And 40 flights down, you get the number 1 train. 40 flights up, you get the A. And
40 flights?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's sub basement.
Wow.
So it's like a skyscraper.
Yeah, yeah.
It's subterranean. So there was a pigeon down there. And I felt really bad. Like I wonder
Oh, no.
how is this pigeon gonna live? So I said, if when I come back tonight, if that pigeon's still here, I will try to save it. So I went home and I got my cat carrier and some peanuts. And I went down, I paid again to go in there. And I go all the way down, and there's a...
And you walked another 40 flights?
No,
down?
this is the elevator was working. Like right
Okay.
now, the elevator's out of order. We have no elevator there. Doesn't stop there right now for
Mm-hmm.
a year, and I'm not bitter at all.
I was going to say, who's counting?
No. So I took the elevator down with my cat carrier, my peanuts, and I started throwing the peanuts, trying to get the bird's attention and trying to lure it in. And there was a row of bums across the platform, sleeping, snoring. And one of them woke up. Look at her. She's trying to catch a pigeon. And then this female officer came over and said, ma'am, what are you doing? I said, well, I feel really bad for that pigeon. I mean, what kind of life? How's it going to eat? What's going to happen? She said, ma'am, that pigeon's always here. Just leave that pigeon alone. Please,
Whoa.
please leave. And I never got the pigeon. And I guess they find some way to get out.
Or they don't.
Yeah.
They could probably find enough garbage down there to eat.
Right, but what a
Right.
life in the subterranean in the subway.
I don't know how many
It's-
people live down there, though?
Yeah, a lot of people live down there. When I did take that one journey up the 40, it was a bunch of us. There was no elevator working. Now they won't. That door is locked. They will not let you
Sure.
walk it. But there were people living
I can
on the
imagine.
landings. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect living for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, warm, dry.
Do you remember that kitten that got lost in the subway a few years, like 2 years ago?
No.
And they found it, and someone got it. Someone owns that kitten.
So a kitten was lost in the subway, and they made a
Right.
big story about it.
They did. They shut down that line, and
To look
they
for a
searched-
kitten?
Yeah,
I'm all about cats, but
yeah.
wow, impressive
I know.
with a cat.
Your cats are great, Thelma and Louise.
No, yeah.
How old are
I
they?
gotta keep them away from the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
There's what, 3? I don't know.
they're adorable.
Yeah, I remember how we ended up with them because in 2016 I had a heart procedure.
I don't remember this. Did I
yeah.
know you? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was recovering, and I'm like, we need a cat. Sit on my lap while I'm recovering. It'd be nice to have a cat laying on my lap. So we went to a pound, and they had a clear the shelter day to where if you want to adopt them, they don't charge you anything. Just take the damn animal,
Cool.
right? So we found in our lifestyle, we're not always around.
Right.
So I'm not going to have one cat.
Right.
And we found some sisters, and they were Thelma would fit in my hand like a bunched up sock. I mean, that's how big she was. She was little. And got them. They're great. And then later in 2016, I had a back procedure. Remember that?
Yes.
And that was even a longer recovery. Mm-hmm. And I come home and laid on the couch, and the first thing that happened, I put my tiger blanket on, and Thelma jumped up on me and never left. And I was like, see, earning your keep. That's what you're here for, is to keep me company. Yeah,
And to
it's-
purr and to
yeah,
love you.
And Thelma became, quote unquote, my cat. Louise became Val's cat. You know how they I don't know if every cat does that, but Thelma follows me around like a puppy. She meets me at the door when I come home, and if I get off the couch and walk in the kitchen, she follows me in the kitchen. She follow me in the bathroom, in the bedroom, come back, I'll sit down, she'll jump on my lap. Yeah, she follows me around. Yeah, she's a good cat.
Adorable.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They got some good personalities. Every animal has a personality.
I
So-
taught 2 of my cats to pee in the toilet.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
It was really easy. You trick them, and you trick them into.
Do they sit up there with a newspaper and?
There's no newspaper. It's a novel. They wrote- they wrote-
I'm William Faulkner novel.
Right,
I
right,
imagine.
right. But
How did you? Okay, so let's.
Well,
how did you?
you do it very subtly. There's some famous musician. We got to Google this. Some famous musician had a book out, how to do this. I got a book. It wasn't his book, but I've since heard that this great musician, I can't remember who it is, he was selling this book on how to teach your cat. You just the first day you put the litter next to the toilet, and they freak out like, wait a minute, what have you done? Any little change is
Sure.
huge.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And you leave it there till it's nothing. You just beside the toilet. Then very incrementally, you slip newspaper underneath there so they don't notice until, and it should take a couple of weeks, it's as high as the toilet. And you should buckle it down maybe
Oh,
with
that would.
tape so
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
fall, because if it falls, they're going to be scared.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then there's the day that you move it on top of the toilet. And that's the day it's hard for you to pee, because every time you pee, you have to take it off.
Oh,
you
you don't pee in the
anchor it
killer?
down. And then there's the day where you lift the seat and you put the litter underneath, maybe in a little aluminum pan. And then there's the day where you pull that away. And by then they're trained. But you've got to remember that you've done this, because I'd be in the living room and I'd hear somebody peeing in the bedroom knowing that I was alone. And it's like,
Whoa! Someone just came in
broke
to use my
in and
restroom. So your cats now?
No, now they don't. What happened is that they still would scratch. They'd scratch the rim of, and I felt, golly, it's bad enough they don't go outside. The scratching of the
good for
sand,
'em.
they want that.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was scratching just, the plastic. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
said, this is for my convenience, but I think I'm going to go back to litter for her happiness.
Yeah.
And I think they enjoy that.
So the litter that we use, it's actually horse bedding pellets. So They sit in a box above another box,
Yes.
and the box that they sit in has grating underneath.
Yes.
So what happens is they get in there, they pee, and they scratch around. Well, it dissolves those pellets into sawdust. The sawdust falls down into the pan below.
Oh.
And then when they poop, same thing. They just bury it, and then you just scoop that out and throw it in the toilet. We change the litter probably once every 4 weeks.
What?
Yeah, and
Didn't
then we
Charlotte
got
Sailor have that? Charlotte?
I have no idea.
All right, okay.
My wife's sister told us about it, but the bottom pan you gotta empty that sawdust out probably every 2 weeks.
That's great. I
And
don't
the-
smell a thing. It does
Yeah,
not smell
exactly.
like a cat house.
And the bag of sawdust we get at a farm supply store for like $4.
Wow.
So the whole system with a new box and a bag costs like $25, and then it only costs us that bag lasts us like 2 months.
That's so good.
Yeah,
Because I can't
it's amazing. You can't
stand
smell.
the odor. So what I'm using now is walnuts,
I heard that too. We were going to try that.
but this is working.
This is amazing. This is
Yeah.
amazing. We love it.
Yeah.
So the walnuts work
I
for you?
love it because I don't smell anything.
Yep. I think people are so used to the commercial smell of the litter,
Yeah.
right? And then you obviously, depending on how clean you are, if you smell everything else. But
Yeah.
no, our cats are clean and they take care of themselves. So.
It smells great in here.
Yeah. Ooh, that's me. Thanks.
Well, yeah,
That's
I
my
did-
Axe
you-
body spray.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
Well, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
I think
This
we
is
covered a lot of stuff.
delightful.
We
We
had-
talked about death and cat urine. I
And
mean, what more
drugs.
could we ask for?
Drugs and what was the other thing? Oh, your parents trying to kill you. Still
Right.
trying to kill
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. As I said, they
Crazy.
will deny it. They to this day
Why
deny.
why shouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess it's a secret.
Yeah. And it's something that bonds them.
There we go.
See you later.
Bye.